2023 has been pretty eventful, not just for me on a personal level, but also for the channel as well. I noticed leading up to the new year that almost every channel out there has been doing these, year-end review type videos where they just kind of recap their favorite guns that they went ahead and reviewed throughout 2023. Instead of doing that, I wanted to talk to you guys about the product I started using this year that's had the biggest impact. There have been so many things that have come across my desk in 2023 that were just incredible. Don't get me wrong. In this video, though, I'm talking about overall impact in all things 2A related for me. The thing that's made or given or created the most change. What I'm talking about are the products from KORE, and more specifically, the KORE belts. Now, I do have a couple of the EDC KORE belts in my collection. Most recently, though, the one that I added is this guy here. This is the KORE Battle Belt. This is the one I really want to talk about today. But let's get started with the EDC belt just so that we can kind of dip our toe in the pool. So these EDC belts from KORE, they come as a really long belt that you cut down to size. So essentially they are a one size fits all or most type belt. Once you cut it to length, then you can take the KORE belt buckle, you can slide that sucker on there, screw it down, and it's secure, it's nice and tight. The buckle's not going anywhere, and the belt's ready to use. Why is that important? Well, it's important because honestly, I can't tell you how many times I have ordered a belt from a website. I followed their sizing guide, and when it came in, it didn't fit. Either it was too big or it was too small, even though I followed their instructions on how to pick a size. Most recently, I ordered a nice Hanks leather belt for my son so that he could use different belt buckles. And when it came in, even though I followed the directions, it is almost too small to use. Like, we're talking, it's on the last hole. So I've got to send that back in, and I've got to have them send a larger size out. Now, this is the frustration that you will avoid completely when you buy one of these KORE EDC belts. So here on the desk, just for demonstration purposes, I have my black one. This is usually the one that I wear at work. Currently, I'm wearing the black multicam. KORE has a bunch of other camo patterns. They have a bunch of solid belts, black, OD green, desert tan. There's a bunch of them on their website. They have dress belts, duty belts, battle belts. There's almost too many options when it comes to the belt selection over at KORE. If you go over there and you check out their belts and you find that you're having a hard time picking a specific belt, you know what? Just buy two, because if you enter 360TS at checkout, you're going to get a discount and save some money. The other thing that KORE has a ton of options for is belt buckles. And depending on your style, you're going to be able to get exactly what you want for look with a KORE buckle. They do have some larger buckles that could potentially be problematic when it comes to concealed carry. But when you start scrolling down through the list of buckles, they have quite a few actually that are a little smaller, a little more slim and low profile. I actually find that I don't have any issues whatsoever with their belt doing any type of EDC stuff. Now I'm going to go ahead and roll in some close-up footage of this, but the way that these buckles work is that the belt has a strip of like teeth built into it, and as it passes through the buckle has a lever that locks into that tooth, and that's what gives you your retention on the belt. All the buckles have this little lever here, and all you have to do is push the belt through the buckle, and every time it clicks, it locks in place. And then when you want to go ahead and remove the belt or loosen the belt, you just press the lever and it unlocks it, and it comes right out. Battle belt. Now, hear me out. The most widely used buckle for not just EDC belts, but battle belts and duty belts is something like this, the Cobra belt system. You guys all know these. Just like a lot of other people, when I started my search to find the perfect belt, I thought that the Cobra buckle system was great because, well, a lot of people are using it. Pretty much every one of your favorite YouTubers uses a belt that has a Cobra buckle system on it, And oftentimes throughout the course of the year, when they're talking about their EDC updates, that's one of the things that they go over is their EDC belt. Here's one for you right here. This is my Blue Alpha Gear belt. This one is one of the more popular ones that's out there, especially amongst creators. Don't get me wrong, it's a great belt. It's super strong, super solid, really secure. It's actually fairly comfortable. But if you need to make any type of adjustment, it's not at all practical. So not only does the buckle not fit through the belt loops on any of my pants, but in order to make an adjustment, I have to snake it through my pants far enough that I can go ahead and undo this Velcro, tighten it up, redo the Velcro, get it back in place, lock it back in, see if it fits the way that I need it or want it to fit. If it doesn't, I've got to go through it all over again. The Blue Alpha Gear belt, of course, is an EDC belt. Now here I have the G-Code Battle Belt, and I gotta say, this is one of the highest quality belts that I've ever seen. I don't at all want to disparage the product that G-Code makes, because I really do love the products that they make. My problem here is, again, we're talking about the Cobra belt system. And as much of a pain as making those adjustments is with EDC, it's actually kind of worse when it comes to something like this, a battle belt. The thing about the battle belt is that I make size adjustments to it regularly, sometimes 2 or 3 times while I'm actually out at the range. Let's just do a quick breakdown on how this works for the people who don't necessarily have the experience with a battle belt. So there are 2 ways that these things can be worn, technically 3 ways. The battle belts, most of them have a Velcro inner along them. Now this is the padded inner belt that came with my G-Code belt. And what's cool about this is I can go ahead and put it on the inside of my battle belt to give it padding, and then I can just clip this around my waist and do what I need to do. This is a great solution for those times where you need to just gear up quickly and get out and go. Now the reason that it's padded is because when you have your mag carriers and you have your holster on there and you have all your other little bits and pieces, the battle belt gets pretty heavy and it will dig into your hips quite a bit. So with the padding on there, it's quite a bit more comfortable. The other way that you can wear it is just as the battle belt clipped on around your waist. I don't really recommend that. It's pretty awful. But in this configuration, I can wear whatever belt that I want to hold my pants up, and then this is basically just an overlay over the top. A quick demonstration of the KORE belt with the padded inner belt on it. Let's say I'm sitting at home and I need to throw my belt on and run out of the house real quick. It's super easy to just put it on, click it in place. I can hook my leg strap and I'm good to go. Making the adjustments, whether I need it tighter or looser, are very simple with the buckle on the KORE belt. The other option is one of these Velcro inner belts. Now this one here comes with the KORE battle belt, and this is actually one of my favorite. I have the one for the G-Code belt somewhere, and the problem is that that one isn't very wide, and it really just, when you tighten it up to tighten up your pants, it just digs into you. It's not very comfortable. The surface area of the Velcro, there's not a lot of it, and so it doesn't really securely hold your battle belt very well. This one from KORE is probably one of the better inner belts that I've ever seen. Now this one, you're going to go ahead and snake this through your pants just like a standard belt, and then Velcro over the top, and you've got a belt. Once you get this one securely on your pants, then you just take your battle belt, wrap it around your waist so that it's stuck to the Velcro, click that belt in place, and you're ready to go.
Most of the time when I go out to the range, I am wearing the Velcro inner belt that came with the KORE battle belt, and that one is pretty easy. All I have to do is take my holster mount, get it lined up where approximately I want my gun, and then tack it down to the Velcro as I come around, and then the actual final adjustment for how tight I want it is as easy as that. Now if it's too tight, I can go ahead and let a little bit out, or if I need a little tighter, super simple. This is something that you can't exactly do with one of the Cobra buckles. With the Cobra buckles, there's so much involved in doing the adjustment compared to using one of these.
The advantage to the Velcro inner belt is that your outer belt isn't going to shift. It's not going to move. It's going to stay put where you want it. Now, as long as you situate all your accessories properly on your battle belt, using a Velcro inner belt is the way to go. It's going to be more comfortable. The weight distribution is going to work out really well. You're going to be able to wear it for hours and hours of use without getting too terribly fatigued or uncomfortable. Now, sometimes I am wearing different pants. Maybe I'm wearing jeans one day, maybe I'm wearing, some sort of tactical pants the next. Maybe today I'm wearing a t-shirt, but I've got a hoodie over the top of it, and then part of the way through my session at the range, it gets a little bit too warm and I've got to get rid of the hoodie. Layers, everything's changed. There are so many reasons why you may need to tighten or loosen your battle belt while you're at the range. The ease and speed and accuracy in which you can make good, solid adjustments to this belt cannot be overstated. If I'm at the range and I'm shooting and I feel like I need it just a little bit tighter, or I want to wear it a little bit higher, or whatever the case may be, I can make those changes with a KORE belt really quickly and easily. When I'm using something that has a Cobra belt buckle, it's not the same. You guys probably have seen quite a bit of footage where I'm using this belt, and I want to go ahead and talk about some of the things that are on it. But first I want to point out that this is a work in progress, okay? This isn't finished. It's like anything else. Every time I go out with it, I see something where I'm like, oh, I can configure this differently, or I can do, this to make it more comfortable. It's not a finished product. At this point, it's somewhat of a Franken belt. Now, when it first came in, I did use the provided KORE pistol and rifle mag pouches for a while just to get them a feel for it and test them out. It did only come with one of each, which to me, one rifle pouch isn't too bad because I shoot more pistol than I do rifle, but I definitely needed more mag carriers for pistols. Once I got my initial testing with this belt done, kind of formed my opinion of it. Then I went ahead and I started customizing it. At this point, my G-code belt is sitting in the corner of the office, just collecting dust. Now, the mag pouches for the KORE belt are pretty similar to the Scorpion mag pouches from G-code. In fact, they're basically the same. There's some slight differences, but operationally they work the same. I think that they are just as good as the G-code mag pouches, but the reason that I put all my Scorpion pouches on here is that, let's just face it, I couldn't have say 2 black multicam and 1 solid black mag pouch on there. That would have driven me absolutely batshit crazy. I actually ended up taking off the KORE mag pouches. I've got them set aside. I have a little project that I'm gonna put those onto. It's another belt that I'm working on for somebody else. I like to help other people who are in need, and if I have something that they can use, I might as well pass it on. So when you see that I have the G-code components on here, the mag pouches and stuff, it's not a statement of quality. It's just that they match, and I already had them, and I had enough of them. These KORE ones are a great value, so if you're just getting started out and you're going to order one of these, I would definitely recommend going ahead and putting these in your cart. Just make sure you put in as many as you need. Now the trauma kit is nice. It's got a good tourniquet in there. You know, tourniquets are funny. It's one of those things where you really should train with them, and I know that I need to train with one more than I do. I think in an emergency I'll be okay, but yeah, I do need to take a little bit of time and kind of work with them more. But more to the point, I do have one mounted to my battle belt, which is nice. It's good having one close at hand. The other thing is the dump pouch. I don't currently have this dump pouch mounted to the belt because I've been kind of moving things around. Like I said, it is a work in progress. Now the dump pouch works pretty well. There's not much you can say about it. It's a dump pouch. It works, folds up nice and compact, and it works. I'm going to put it back on there. I just haven't decided what position exactly that I want it, because I'm actually thinking about adding another mag carrier to the belt, but we'll see how that goes. Next thing you're going to need on a battle belt is a holster mount. Now KORE does have their own holster mount. I do have it here in the office. My office is a mess. You wouldn't believe how messy it is right now. I wasn't really able to use KORE's holster mount platform. Not because of any design issues or anything. It's more to do with the investment that I've made into holsters that are compatible with G-Code's mount. See, I actually have a whole box of holsters over there in the corner, and every one of them has one of these G-Code mounts on them. I've actually spent a ridiculous amount of money on products that will work with the G-Code ecosystem. And so now I've kind of pigeonholed myself into a situation where that's what I have to use. Unfortunately, none of the products that I own have a hole pattern that's compatible with KORE's mount system. Because I don't have anything that's compatible with it, I can't answer any questions about the hole pattern compatibility. You can go onto their website and you can check it out and see it and see whether or not it's going to work for your holsters. But I personally can't say one way or another if your holster is going to work out. Now their holster design, it is super solid and stable. I really wish that it had some sort of adapter to where I could put one of the G-Code RTI hangers onto it and then mount my G-Code compatible holsters onto it. In fact, I did send that idea off to the company's owner, and I don't know, maybe down the road, hopefully they'll come up with something. That mount that KORE makes, though, it's solid aluminum. Once you clamp it down to the belt, it's not moving anywhere. Your gun's going to be nice and secure. It does have a leg strap mounted to it, multi-adjustable as far as ride height and everything. It's really good quality. It's just, you know, I've got a ton of G-Code stuff, so that's why I have the Frankenbelt. Anyways, I don't want to get too far off in the weeds here. I feel like I do that sometimes. Once you try one of these KORE belts, your whole perception of things is going to change. Comfort, usage, versatility, all of these things, these ideas are things that get stuck in our head based on the type of belts we're used to using. And after swapping over to a KORE belt, you're going to realize that there are bigger and better things in this world than what you're used to. You know, with one of the KORE EDC belts, you can make micro adjustments on the go quickly and easily, unlike all other belts. Then when you step it up to a battle belt, you're really going to see the advantages to having that ratcheting belt system. No matter what you're wearing, no matter what firearm you're using, no matter what situation you're in, you're going to be comfortable in a KORE belt. It's a strong and versatile platform that's completely changed range day for me. Hell, it's completely changed EDC for me. That is why KORE deserves the spotlight for 2023 here on 360 Tactical Solutions. If you're considering a battle belt, if you want a better EDC belt, just do yourself a favor and take a look at what KORE has to offer. I can tell you without a moment's hesitation that I will never go back to another belt system. It doesn't matter if it's at the range or EDC, KORE is the belt for me.